So, the big question. Was the Merciless NERF warranted? Yeah, it was. You and I both know it was. Unpopular opinion or not, it was. What's up you guys, Gangrongzong here. So for those of you that don't know it yet, Merciless now no longer works on heavies in terms of bypassing their armor plating. And straight off the bat, I'm going to say this to everyone claiming that the gun is now useless, and the sky is falling, and the game sucks, I want my refund, the devs are stupid, and whatever. I'm sorry, but the hard truth is that those statements are just plain exaggeration, and they've probably never actually tried it out before on a proper Merciless build. It may not be the best gun out there, but it certainly is viable. Players that were using Merciless as their primary weapon all the way back from the beginning of the game already knew this, way before it was heavily popularized due to Razorback's raid mechanics. I even did a complete build video of it about a month ago showing how to solo level 4 control points with a Merciless build, using nothing but Seekers and the gun itself, clearing each control point within 7 to 8 minutes. Plus, I never even did any form of trigger stacking with it. I just spammed my left click into them. So yeah, it was warranted. And I'm not saying this with any form of glee, but we all knew it was coming. We all knew that a nerf was lurking around the corner, right? We all knew it in the back of our heads. Some of us even knew that this was a bug all along. And is in fact not a nerf, as the Merciless originally never operated like this when the game first launched. We knew that the gun was just too damn powerful for the heavies, especially in the Razorback fight. It basically trivialized the whole mechanic, right? Turning it into a joke. From a oh shit moment every 90 seconds, we gotta scramble our forces to take down a big threat quickly, to a whatever, it's just a heavy, player XXX at that generator will just solo it in 3 seconds. For anyone that's done serious raiding before in any game, it's clear that this was never how the mechanic was intended to be overcome. This nerf is good for the game overall. For all of you complaining about how your hard-earned Merciless is now useless, or that you just got it after farming missions 100 times over, I sympathize with you, but detach yourself from just thinking about you for just a second, and think about those that still don't have it, which is a pretty substantial number of players. How do you think they'll feel when the raid slowly but surely evolves to needing a Merciless for the last boss? When matchmaking is eventually implemented, which it kind of has been leaked a bit that it's going to be, hint hint, nothing concrete, but it has been hinted at. How do you think it'll feel for every LFG advert to have the phrase, must have Merciless for last boss? How do you think they'll feel when they farm it for dozens of hours, still don't have it, and feel second class in the raid? And did you really want this to be the meta? To be forced to have a Merciless constantly holstered, denying all other gun options? In order to promote build diversity, you shouldn't ever force players to use a specific weapon. Choices should be made based upon and balanced on group compositions and personal preferences. It's okay and probably good to demand certain roles for certain mechanics, such as a tanking or healing role. But a specific weapon, especially one that is based on RNG to acquire, should never be forced upon and or have such a gross advantage. Also, having such a powerful weapon against key mechanics, in this case armor plating for heavies, presents huge balancing problems. For example, if they're planning to increase the difficulty of the raid, which they are, they'll have to do it with Merciless in mind, which isn't healthy for raid design. For example, they'll have to artificially increase the health of heavies, having to fundamentally alter their armor to health percentage, just to cater to this one specific gun. Same deal for the new raid coming out. If there are any heavies in there, they'll have to cater everything around making sure a team of 8 Merciless wielders doesn't trivialize it. That's not good for raid design at all. If you're one of the lucky ones that got Merciless without needing to endlessly farm for it, myself included, good for you. But for those that don't have it, or because of shitty RNG have not been able to acquire it yet, they shouldn't be denied a raid spot just because luck wasn't on their side. The Merciless shouldn't be the defining factor of whether you get selected for the last boss fight or not. It should be based on your overall build and skill, not an RNG weapon drop. If you're concerned about the Razorback turning into a more difficult encounter in TU4 because of this, that might be true. but at most it'll only be slightly more difficult. Balance should be fine in TU4, as gun damage is getting a buff overall due to the removal of protocol and system mods. Already on the live servers, heavies can be easily soloed by one person with an AR or LMG as long as there are no ads shooting him or her, with two people being able to take down the heavies easily. The heavies launching rockets mechanic was meant to be a DPS check, not an exotic weapon gimmick. Plus, the Merciless will still be pretty dang useful, completely killing off robots within a few shots while completely unbuffed. So it still has its unique uses. Feel free to disagree with everything I've said. End of the day, it's just my own opinion, but I still believe that the nerf was warranted and is good for the game overall.